can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walk through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders and how they overcome big challenges in life and business, like the founders of P90X, Atari, Baby Einstein. Lindsey also knows Julie Clark, founder of Baby Einstein, and Julie not only talked about how she built up a $20 million business within 5 years, but also beat cancer twice. Our sponsor today is Rise25.com, where entrepreneurs of 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses come together live and in person every few months to solve their biggest business challenges and leave with lifelong friendships. Check out Rise25.com. It's run by myself and co-founder John Corcoran. It's application only. Today, I'm very excited. We have Lindsey Laurain. She's founder of Ezpz. That's EZPZ, where she's created silicone placemat products that suctions to the table, like the Happy Mat. If anyone has kids, they know it can be an absolute mess at meal times.
Yes.
So she makes it easy. We'll talk about that. And after leaving corporate America, she built Ezpz into a multi-million-dollar business in a short time. She's been featured on the hit TV show Shark Tank. She does all of this while raising her 3 wild boys, and I guess 4 if you count your husband. Lindsey, thanks for joining me.
Good one. Yes, he's being super dad today though, and taking them to school.
That's
and does
perfect.
Talk.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh!
And
thank you for having me.
So when does Shark Tank come into play? What was the decision to go on Shark Tank?
I could tell you another great story if you
Go
want
ahead.
to hear.
Shoot.
Do you want the other one just because? And then I got to plug in my computer too. I love sharing these stories because I don't get to tell them to anyone. But this is actually a really crazy story, and this is the stuff where I'm like, this should be a movie. So, let me get to see my house.
We get the grand tour.
You get the grand tour. It's in shambles. So this story is probably the craziest story out of all of them. And it's going to go into Shark Tank, or is somewhat relative. So we launch in September, October 2014, right? And November of that year. So 2 months after we launch, I get a note. I'm just telling you the whole story. Do you have time for this right now?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Yes.
Because you're getting the story that no one ever gets of the backstory to just understand the emotional.
These are the best. Yeah, these are the best stories. If you have time, I have time. Yeah.
I am gonna have to get going after this. So we are at a park. I'm at a park with my kids. I just remember this perfectly. And I get an email, and it's like, hey, I think I got from my brother. He's like, my mom's a kid I played soccer with. His mom's friend, one of those random people, got an email and says it looks like your kids and it looks like your product. And I get the email. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, it's Brody. It's my son. It's our product, the Happy Mat. And the logos weren't even chopped out of it. But it's our Kickstarter video it's all black and white with me all in the background. And it's all voiced over. So it's like, are you sick of spilt milk? And it's me pouring, but it's someone else's voice, right? Totally photoshopped the video. And then it's like, order your mat. It's a direct response. So if you've seen Snuggies, which actually is a company that knocks people off every second. My friend's going through it right now.
Really?
So I get this and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on, right? And this is like a month after we launch, right? So I wasn't expecting this. So I get home, I'm frantic. We find the people on the internet, the server. This is just all a great story. So we reach out to the server people. And I'm like, hey, this is my company. This is my product. This is my kid. You guys got to shut down this website. They reply literally with the person's name, phone number, email, who built out the sites, right? They're like, this is the person behind it, and we'll shut it down. So they shut down the site. They give me this person's name. I'll refrain from saying his name on the show. I look it up. He's pictured with Kevin Harrington, as seen on Shark Tank, all over. He has pictured this person on the set of Shark Tank with people, right? I'm like, is this real, right? It gets crazier. So I get this guy's phone number. I have a 20
What was
minute.
he trying to do?
Well, essentially, they hired this agency called LifeScript. Like, you could find them on Facebook. They have like millions of followers. And sent out an email to thousands of people to see how many people would test and click and buy a fake ad with our product. And it was called the Silly Mat, not the Happy Mat.
Right.
Then they were going to make a commercial. They were going to make a direct response commercial that said, "Are you sick of your mat?" Da, da, da. So they were doing this market test, which is how we got the email that they never thought we would get, ever, ever, ever in a trillion years. Then they were doing this commercial, never thought we would see the website. They would have swapped out all the pictures.
Wow.
So I've got a phone call, a 20-minute phone call of this guy that's been pictured with all these people, just like, "I'm sorry, everyone's hand's been slapped," and da da da. And just never, they think this is like a mom that has no idea what they're doing, right? We're gonna.
So they were testing the idea to knock it off? Is that what they were doing?
Yeah, and they were going to make it. They would have done a commercial, and then next thing I know, I would have been, it would have been the Silly Mat.
Wow.
TV.
Wow.
And so at that time, though, right, that was a scary time because we didn't have a design pad or a utility pad. So it was literally like, we can't do anything. And so we called the guy, and he took it down. He never did anything, and we never filed a lawsuit or did anything. So he's still floating around, and just, I've never ddone anything. I mean, when I was on Shark Tank, it wasn't aired. I did say that, though. I was like, I've been pictured here, with people that have stood on this set, and knocked me off. But at the end of the day, I think, and I realized this.
So did you then decide, I want to go on Shark Tank then?
That had nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay.
That was more of just, I was giving you, when I was on Shark Tank set,
yes.
I gave that story of like, counterfeit issues are real.
Yeah.
I have been, someone knocked us off that it was actually pictured with you guys here.
Right.
And so, but I think, and I think, even me, I think I had a glimpse of even that, like, through this whole thing, you think there's like this authoritative figure, right, that has your better interest in mind, or whether it's with food you're eating or the legal system, and it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, right? But and that's the shitty
You're now
part.
hardened, right?
Right? No one's looking out for you. No one cares if this person knocked me off, or no one cares. I mean, it's just, no one cares what poison's being put in your body. No one's watching out. It's like, really, it's been a very eye-opening experience on a trillion fronts. And so, and my whole thing is, eventually I want to bring awareness to this, right? I want this to be like, I've got all these women and these small businesses and sharing these stories. So just the consumers become more educated, right?
Yeah.
And so if a consumer looks and says, who made this product? Or this is sketchy.
Right.
Like, that's my next mission in life, is bringing more awareness to the whole small business side of the business. It's crazy.
So I know we're about out of time, even though this could go for another 5 hours.
Yeah.
Tell me before and after Shark Tank.
Yeah. So Shark Tank, in all honesty, I wasn't sure if Shark Tank was the right forum for us. And I was very vocal about that with the Shark Tank folks, in the sense of, we went on Shark Tank, and again, this was all communicated. We didn't necessarily need help in the baby space. We didn't really need money for that matter, right? So we are self-funded, but now we're cash flow positive. It's been great. We're a small team still, and I think we're going to do 7 to 8 million this year.
Congratulations.
And so, when I went on Shark Tank, I told them, we don't really need money. We don't need anything in the baby space. We know Bye Bye Baby. We know all these people, but there's all these other opportunities for Easy Peasy. Licensing. There is a huge licensing opportunity. Huge. Mickey Mouse, Yoda, medical, all these offshoots.
Yeah.
And then there's also like pets, right? So pets, all these other markets, and then you could put Disney, Nickelodeon, whatever. Yeah. So that's and I'm not an expert in those areas, right?
Well, I guess Julie's the person to talk to, right?
Yeah.
From the Disney front.
No, that definitely wasn't going anywhere with that conversation. Yeah. And so I went on. That was my, why we went on. And then we went in with a high valuation. We knew that. Yeah. But I definitely, usually when people do see the product, it is like everyone's lifting tables and it's this whole, so I was definitely expecting more of like, wow, this is an awesome product. You're changing lives and this could change the world. But instead it was all financial. Like, you're insane with this valuation. Da, da, da. And it was more of like, I had a bad interview once, an interview with a gentleman who, no matter what I said, I could have been the president of the United States and it didn't matter. You know what I mean? It just didn't matter.
Right.
It's kind of
That's the way it felt.
Oh, in this one particular interview, I'll never forget, I got something out of my book and this guy rolled his eyes. And I said, I'm like, you just rolled your eyes at me and you have no idea what I'm getting out of my book, literally. And I said that to the guy in the interview. I still got the job, which is crazy. But it was like that, right? Like, you don't even know what I'm going to say and you're already rolling your eyes at me. Like,
well, because you also don't know, like, from the audience perspective, I'm sure that lasted for an hour or 2 hours, but they only clip minutes. So you don't know if they're clipping the parts that are the most controversial or whatever the case is,
Yeah, I definitely, I wasn't necessarily thinking about that out there. I was thinking, holy shit, this is not going the way I anticipated at all. And this is just not right culturally. I mean, that was my main thing, is like, our team is so small. There's 6 of us. We talk all the time. And culturally, I don't want you guys involved, just so that was really a main thing. And then just the way it all kind of went down, it wasn't the right fit.
Right.
But then, I got off, and then that's pretty much it, though, if you don't take a deal.
I mean, but there was a positive side of things, right? I mean, did it make people more aware? Did it drive sales afterwards?
Gosh, yes. I would do it all over again. I mean, for me emotionally, it was a hard 48 hours after. And that's the hard part I struggle with. Like, when people are like, oh, I saw you on Shark Tank. I'm like, oh, God, you had to watch that. Versus being like, yeah, it was great. Like, I don't need to let everyone know that it was
painful for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But hands down,
but
it was phenomenal. I mean, just from brand recognition and pulling it through, sales and in the community, the Shark Tank entrepreneur community that we have. Now I'm speaking, we just spoke a few weeks ago with some other folks. We're on a panel together. And so then we get to meet, and we've got this whole relationship and community of entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So, Lindsey, I know you have to go, and I really appreciate your time. This is phenomenal.
No, it's been fun.
I figure we end with just a few tools, software you use to run the business. Like, I don't know what, as far as the shopping cart or software platform, or what tools, software do you use?
Another thing, too, is I would advise to entrepreneurs is to choose softwares and platforms all correctly. And we did that from the start. We wanted a foundation that was all, very cloud-based, but all just very efficient. Again, we're very small.
Yeah.
And I want to keep it small. I never had my goal was never to run an empire and, manage hundreds of people. I work with my best friends. To backstory to the software.
Yeah.
When I had the idea, we taped the bulletin piece of paper. I emailed my friends. It says big dreams. And the email is just a terrible email, but it's like, I've got this idea and I think it could be big. If we do this, I want to work with our best friends. Yeah. This is the dream. Can we all work together? And now we all work together. They're like my 2 other right-hand
That's amazing.
women. Right. So our team is awesome. And so we have really efficient kind of back-end systems. So for example, we use BigCommerce as our back-end website post. They've been great. We haven't had any issues. And then all of our retailers, our independents, order online through BigCommerce, and they order, and we require a credit card for our independents, which is a little bit different, I think, where society's going, but not net 30 and POs. And so again, right, you take away 800 people that would be sending in like POs paper, and you make them order online, it creates a very efficient,
more efficient, yeah.
I mean, it's so logical.
Yeah.
And so that's how we kind of do the ordering. Shopping cart, we used BigCommerce and then Stripe as our shopping cart, and then QuickBooks
Online
has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So we were not only they manage all of our stuff, but from a small business, there's huge small business advocates.
Yeah.
supporters. And so
Yeah,
we
you
were,
have an interview, I think, at some QuickBooks conference, I believe, like QuickBooks Connect or something.
you saw that. Yes.
Yeah.
So and this was crazy. So QuickBooks, that was for their top 10. They did a top 10 for Super Bowl contest. So 15,000 businesses applied. We were top 15. No, we were top 10 out of the 15,000.
Wow.
Which was huge. And so last year we were there for the top 10.
Yeah.
We ended up not getting it, which sucked. But QuickBooks reached out and said, "Hey, we love your story. We want to produce a commercial on your story."
That's awesome.
And it gets better. They came last December, shot a commercial for us for 3 days. In one of the commercials, there's a little boy with Down syndrome in it. I mean, they're just awesome people, awesome business. And then they aired that commercial all year. It's been airing on like Hulu and CBS.
Wow.
But then, no joke, it gets better. They switched it to broadcast in this election. That commercial aired on CBS, CNN, Fox News, CNBC. I mean,
Prime time. Yeah.
I've gotten more messages and notes and stuff. It's still airing right now.
That's amazing.
And so that's been awesome. So QuickBooks for our all financials. And then that's really it though. We use Square, for some of the credit card stuff. I've just started using Evernote.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep better. I do want to do a documentary, or we have so much good footage. And
what about for like keeping track of inventory?
Great question. We use BigCommerce a little bit, and we were using Stitch Labs for a while, which is like a third-party facilitator, but we don't do that anymore because I'll spare you the details of like just Amazon. It was Amazon, and we shipped direct to Amazon. So
I may have a good solution for you on that. So yeah. So I'll tell you about that. There's a software Skubana that is kind
awesome.
of fits that gap, but yeah.
Cool. Send it over. Any other questions?
No, I mean, I have a million questions, but I know you have to go. So thank you so much. Everyone should go to easypeasyfun.com. Anywhere else we should send people, Lindsey, online to check out the happy mats, the flower play mats, the happy bowls, the pet mats, or whatever else.
Well, Ono is coming. So Ono is the pet brand. That's Ono Friends is the website.
Okay.
Yep, ONO. And it's Friends, so Ono Friends is the website.
Okay.
And then I would say, just anywhere you're out and about, and all we ask is, help spread the easy peasy love. And if any entrepreneurs are listening, I would just say follow your dreams and let me know if you have any questions. I love helping. And
if anyone has gotten to this point, they've gotten amazing gems out of this. So thank you.
Thank you.
This is phenomenal.
Well, let's do it again for sure.
I will go deep. So
I love it.
Thank you, Lindsey. I appreciate it. It's been fantastic.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other